my life matters.
We always talk about white people killing black people, but we don't talk enough about black on black crime. We kill each other.
My life matters.
Kansas City is different.
Stuff can happen at a moment.
My life matters.
Say for instance somebody made me mad, I do the first thing that comes to my mind.
My life matters.
We just go and just retaliate now or just get revenge on anything.
My life matters.
I mean, we've got about 170 homicides already in the city this year.
My life matters.
I saw the news, and an 11-year-old girl was shot and killed, and that's all I saw.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Hopefully everybody is good. I'm about to get my camera on me. Hold on just a second. Let's see here. There we go. I forgot to turn my tablet on. I've been sitting here without my tablet on, and so it didn't even I don't have access to my companion to see my controls. So how y'all been doing? Welcome to Free Show Friday. I'm Gary B. Jr., your media consultant. Today, we're going to have some fun. We're going to have some fun. Hopefully, we're going to have a lot of good questions. We're going to have a good giveaway with YellowCast. For those who are on, you can jump in and sign up as soon as I put that link in later on. And I'm excited to be here with you guys today. Let me know where you're from in the comments. I'm looking at them now. I see Al Kelkoff is on. What's going on, my friend? Long time no see. Um, we typically check in to see how everything is going, how everybody's doing. And as you all know, with Free Show Friday, this is all about you growing and understanding this new tool. I say new, it's not a new tool, but understanding it because it's probably new to you so that you can get more comfort and confidence when you're using this to where you can do whatever you want to do during your meetings, your services, your business meetings, whatever it is that you need to use this program for. My goal is to equip you to be confident to do it. Al says he's been busy, busy, busy. That's what's up. That's what's up. Nothing wrong with that, my friend. I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I feel you, the joy of being active and alive. I thank God for that every day. So I'm okay with that. When it comes to what's been going on, I'm looking and seeing my notes and everything. We got a lot going on. We got Ryan from Zimbabwe. What's going on, my friend? We got Larry Sweeting in. Good afternoon, Larry. Welcome, welcome, my friend. Larry, remind me, where you from again? I can't remember. Oh, it's not Florida, is it? No. Larry, remind me where you from again. I can't remember too well, but welcome, welcome. So we got Zimbabwe in the house. We got Al, we got Larry. Welcome, 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 you guys. But for me, it's been busy as well, working on some new projects and fun things going on that you'll be hearing about later on, I think, as we continue to grow and build new things. I've been playing around with a lot of things and seeing the updates with Free Show. I'm excited about that. Larry in Louisville. That's right. Larry in Louisville. I'm going to do it that way. Larry from Louisville. I like that. I like that. Born in Florida. That's what's up. Okay. Okay. I was halfway there. But tell me what you guys have been playing around with, thinking about with Free Show. I know for me, one of the things I've been exploring has been the update and the equalizer, that kind of stuff. Those things are always fun to me. And then, as you all know, I did the couple of videos. We'll check in on those in a second here as well. But really trying to understand ways that I can help you guys fine tune your use of the program. I've gotten a lot of questions about OBS, so I'm going to be doing some discussion about that today as well. OBS for beginners. And then we'll talk more about displays. I did a video about two display setups in 2 different languages, but just understanding our displays is, I think, is going to be a big important factor in point of this. And then we're going to end it related to my topics. If there aren't any questions, we'll be talking about templates and ways to make our templates even better. And I've been working on some ideas for that. I've got a template media kit that I'm preparing that I really like, but I'm fine tuning it to make sure it's going to work for everything that we got going on and what you all might need. And so I'm excited about that, along with working on an intermediate guide for Free Show, which has been a huge endeavor. I've been working on that for some time now and working with it because there have been so many updates, fast and furious. I don't want it to where it's, I'm putting my watch on, forgive me. I don't want it to be where it's completely out of date as soon as I release it. So working through that, trying to figure out the best way to make that work. So bear with me as we do that. And I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it though. So let's talk about what's going on this week. We got something from Al. He says we should be going live with Free Show in 2 weeks. Hey, Christopher has made some fixes that we were waiting for, and now we can go. All right. Now, Al, what's one of the big fixes or changes that you've seen that have given you that freedom to feel like you can use Free Show now? Because there have been quite a few changes. I agree. And they've been beautiful. Like I said, I love the user interface. For me, I really like the way things feel, right? In terms of the look and feel of it. That's a big deal. That user experience to me has improved greatly. The reliability of it has definitely improved, and he's constantly making updates and responding to changes and things like that. So I'm excited about that as well. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna pull up. Actually, I have it open here, but I'll go to. I want to pull up this. All right, so let me show you guys my screen. So this is the issues page or the suggestions page. I'm just looking to see if there's anything in here that's fairly new. Feature mark shows display, custom audio device output with more than 2 channels. That's something that's pretty cool as an idea. And then let's see here. Let's see if there's one. Let's look at the closed. These are some of the things that have been taken care of. So issue with FreeShow in the latest version, performance and stability problems. There was a question about that. Let's see what we got here. Greatly appreciate further assistance. So Christopher was trying to figure out, he couldn't figure out how to stop the lag from happening. So he requested some info from that person. Remote scriptures not working. Let's see here. This one is a scripture remote show crashes. It was a duplicate of this one. When you use scripture in the row tab, the app will freeze. So they worked through that. Let's see here. Remote scripture is not working as a duplicate. So they've been working on that one and getting some things taken care of. That's good. Let's see here. If I go back up to issues that were being closed. Somebody asked for some Canva integration. That would be crazy cool. Let's see. Al says importing from Windows to Ubuntu. Oh, Windows to Ubuntu used to not bring the images over, and now it does. So importing from a Windows device to an Ubuntu device. Interesting. Okay. That's a fun feature. I'm glad that's working for you, my friend. Let's see here. These are all closed. Let's see. I submitted one about a localization issue. That one got resolved, I think, this morning. Yeah, 7 hours ago. Blur toggle radius, all kinds of fun stuff. So if you guys ever want to keep up with what's been changing and what's been going on and what you can expect in the upcoming updates, that's a good way to do it. But in the meantime, let's look at our downloads. I'm in the freeshow.app website, and I just went to downloads, and then I go to see all releases here, and this lets you see what happened in the latest. So here we go. More than 2 audio channels should work for supported devices. That's pretty sweet. Slide media set to foreground does not repeat to following slides. That's pretty cool as well, meaning that when you set up an image in your slide and you make it a foreground image, it's not going to carry over to every slide after that. Small optimizations, that's good. Here's some fixes. Fix the stage display, slide text invisible. Slide timer stopping when unfocused. Okay. Slide recording, sometimes triggering incorrect slides. Fixed output with no slide layer. Okay, vertical alignment. Reset, that's good. Scripture show pop-up missing. I remember that one being an issue. Fix freeze when color value was not string. And then other small fixes. And then you can see other things here. We talked about those last week. These were available, I believe, the end there last week. So this was the beta 3, and now 1.51, the full version, is out and available. And from what I've seen of it, it's been pretty stable. I've found some things that can be tweaked and fixed, but they're very minor on a day-to-day basis for most people. As it relates to the channel, some updates. So we made a video on smart templates. This one was pretty fun because it has to do with something I've seen on a lot of different online ministries that I've seen, to where they'll have like a lower thirds bar box or whatnot. And what they'll do is they won't have any text, but that box is still there, right? So they've got the space for the box to be at the bottom, and it's there, but there's no text in there. The idea is that should go away when you don't have any text there, and you just should be able to see your speaker or your camera feed or whatever it is. And this video shows you how to make sure that happens for you. Whenever you make or edit your templates, you can make sure that when there's no text, it goes away. And that no text idea means that you don't have to like clear all for it to go away. You can just make a slide that's just blank to give the speaker some time to speak and all that kind of stuff. And then it can go into the next verse or the next point that they wanted to make or something along those lines. That's where it's helpful, to where you can just arrange your slide in that way, which I didn't even talk about, which we may talk about that here today. That's a good one. Let's see here. GK Get Knowledge. Sir, when I present during church service using FreeShow, the lyrics appear in the center and the text size is small. How can I move the lyrics to the top? Okay, how can I move the lyrics to the top and increase the text size? Please help. All right, GK, you came to the right place, my friend. We'll get that answer for you here in just a second. That's a very good question, because this is something that you might run into as a user of FreeShow, is that you want to figure out and make sure that your text is where you want it to be. Obviously, we want to do that. So we'll talk about how to do that. Just to wrap up real quick on this screen, this is FreeShow with Gary B. Jr. This is just my YouTube channel. This video just came out last night, or yeah, late last night. 2 separate languages on 2 separate screens. All right, someone asked about that on YouTube in a comment, and the cool thing about it is you have to make sure that you're wiring your monitors properly in order for you to be able to do that specific thing. This particular option here, 2 separate languages on 2 separate screens, you want to make sure that you have from your computer an HDMI cable or SDI cable, whatever you're using, going to one monitor, and then a separate cable going to the other monitor. Not one cable from the computer going into a splitter. All right. If you do that, all it is both TVs or both monitors, both projectors are going to get the same feed, and you can't make them show different things. But in this case, they have 2 separate feeds coming from their computer. Now, what that leads me to is to talk about the other facet here. Let me see if this hopefully won't mess anything up. Let me see. Kind of froze some stuff. But what I wanted to show you guys is, if you have not already, there's a lot of ways you can get multiple monitors. This is one of the most cost-effective ways I've seen. This device here, it is an REI split extend USB 3.0 to quad HDMI display adapter. It allows you to take in HD signal, 4K signal, 2 of each. So 2 HD signals and 2 4K signals. Now you can bring in HD into the 4K inputs as well, which is pretty standard. But it works with USB-C or regular USB. I love this device. You can find a description of it, or a link to it in my in the description below. And it just runs off of a USB-C, and I found it under $100. Sometimes you can find it on sale on Amazon, but it is the REI split extend. Check it out if you need more outputs from your computer. All right. And I needed that. I use an Apple device, and I needed more output. So very, very important, please. Let's see here. Please suggest a video on that. Oh, yeah. So there is a video specifically just for that REI device, if that's what you're talking about, GK. Let me see here. Oh, here we go. So it's called Church Media Hack. So expand your computer displays for more outputs in FreeShow. And this came out 3 months ago. So that was the first time I actually saw that device. It was on, there's one of the guys that reviews computers all the time. I forgot his name. I love to watch him. He talks, he's really hype. He's really excited. He always talks about Apple computers. So I watch him for that, about the M chips and all that kind of stuff. But it's called Church Media Hack, as the title in the screen on the thumbnail, but it's called Expand Your Computer Displays for More Outputs in FreeShow. Real simple. And I try to make my titles to where it's searchable, to where if you're just searching for that, it'll pop up one of my videos, if that makes sense. And so hopefully that makes sense for you, GK. Let me know if that's what you were asking about. All right. Let's talk about your question, though, because you had a question about how to basically, I'm going to say your question had to do with how to manage your, and we'll put this on Q&A. And yeah, let's see if that pops up here. And it didn't show. Oh, I got it muted. Let me unmute that. There we go. So it says announcements. We don't want announcements in FreeShow. That's not what we're talking about. We are talking about, where's my title at? So FreeShow Friday topics. I'm just going to call it FreeShow Friday as our title. All right. So now when I do that, you guys will just see FreeShow Friday 1031. All right. Which is what I wanted to do. And I'm just using my variables to make sure to manage that properly as a part of my overlays. All right. So the question was, how do I basically adjust the lyrics to appear in the center? Well, you said the lyrics appear in the center and the text size is small. How can I move the lyrics to the top and increase the text size? All right. So basically what ends up happening, if I understand you right, you're saying you might have a song. That one's a double. Let me do this one and we'll remove this out. I don't need that. Delete the slide. All right. So you got your slides here. This is a song. It's called the Hallelujah Chant. And I've got a blank slide with just the background in it. And then I've got the lyrics for it. And what you were saying is that your lyrics are showing up really small. So the way that you can increase the size of them really simply is to go to your templates down here. All right. And I say really simply because to me, the best way to edit all of your slides at the same time is to just adjust a template. Okay. Because when you do that, all you do then is just click that template and it applies to all of your slides, which for lyrics, you don't need anything to be customized and different. For presentations, you may either make some slides have bullet points and others not. For scriptures, those can be universal as well. So I would recommend a template to adjust your lyric slides and your scripture slides, right? Or your shows is what we call them in FreeShow. And so the best way to do that is, so this is a song. So I've got on the left side here, all of my different categories, and I've got a bunch of them. You all may have fewer than this, but I can go to songs and you'll see by default, we got one that says big and another one here that says, I think it's by default says big bold. I've got the little shield there. So I may have modified these. I'm not sure, but you're saying yours comes in small. There's a reason that that could be the case. And my guess is two reasons possibly is that you have a lot of text in here. And if I right click on a template, you can edit any template you want to now. But if I select in here, you may have auto size on, which I do not recommend you turn off. I do think you should keep it on. But you may have so much text with the auto size on that it shrinks it down to make sure it can fit. Okay. Now, if that's the case, what you need to do is you need to edit your slideshow. So I go back to my show. And if I go here to edit now, just on, let's see, I go back, I'll go here and edit this particular show. I just selected one of the slides and it lets me edit this whole show. One of the cool things is going down here to this bottom text edit icon. All right. And you'll notice every time you see a break there, that's a separate slide, right? So you're the beginning and the end. You see that there. And then here it says you're the beginning and the end. Let me put my face in here. So that's how far that slide, that's how much text that slide has. And so you may go here and just break up some of your lines is what I would do. I would go in and let's say, all of mine are broken out to where they're not too long, but this one, maybe this one's too long. You're the same yesterday. And then I want to put a break here. Right, I can enter down and I'll pull this one down here to where those are on two separate lines, but then there's a separate slide that says, I praise your name. And then another one that says, I praise your name. So now if I go to the show, go back, let me go back to edit so we can see it. I'm gonna change my view back. I'm gonna turn off the text edit. And where we did that at, it should be two I praise your names in here somewhere. Here we go. So right here, you're the same yesterday and today and forever. And then I praise your name. I put it on a separate line so it stays big. Now, these are all centered. They're showing up right in the middle. Now, you asked about how can I make these show up at the top of my slide? If I go back, I'm gonna go down to the templates again. And ultimately, the only reason they're in the middle is because my template keeps them in the middle. So I'm gonna right click on this template because I want to keep that one. I like it, but I'm gonna duplicate it and I'm gonna call it big bold and I'm gonna say, change the name to say top. All right. So now I got a big bold regular and then I got a big bold top. And I got another one that says big bold with this box around it, like a translucent background. But on this top one, I'm going to right click on that and select edit. And now I've got big bold, just like I said before, but I'm going to go to, let's see, under the alignment, you're going to have an option here that says it's center aligned in the middle of the vertical axis. Okay. What we want to do is we want to put it at the top on the vertical axis by hitting this here. And I didn't even have to move my box around. You can do that. I personally don't think you need to move your boxes around, especially if they're there in default. You want to keep that size there completely fine. And so now when I go back to my show, look at my big bold top. It's there, but I'm selected. You see this blue box because that's my theme. I got a blue theme. You see that this is the one that's selected, but now I can select the big bold top and look at what happens to all my lyrics. They all go to the top. All right. So now my audience will see something like this. All right. Everything's at the top. Now, this is totally a preference thing. The only reason I would do something like this is if your monitors are low and you want to make sure everybody can see them and they got to be at the top, and maybe they're just at eye level, right? That's a good reason to do it. Another reason to do this, it may be that you want to put some overlays at the bottom below here. So in this space down here, you want to put something that is some type of overlay. Maybe it's it could, I guess you could put a camera down there, a camera feed. I wouldn't recommend doing a camera feed this way, but you could do that, or it might be just some information about the church. It may be just some lower third content, maybe a QR code or something like that. There would be a reason for it in that way as well, but you could do that. So this is how I would recommend doing it, is adjust by basically duplicating a template that's already there that you like, and then right click and edit that template. All right, when you right click and edit that template, all I did is I went to the align option and just moved it up on the from being on the center axis to being at the top axis. All right, let's see here. And then Al is saying, Gary, do you know of any way to export functions? Hoo-wee. I developed FreeShow at home, and it would be great if I could take the functions I've created with me to church. That's a great question, Al. GK says, thank you, sir. God bless. Blessings from India. Welcome, welcome, welcome from India. That's awesome, my man. Or I don't know if it's a male or female. So that is awesome. GK, get knowledge. Thank you for joining us from India. So Al, that's a good question. What I do know is this. You should be able to, let's see here. I don't know what I got here. I'm gonna do a new finder. I'm gonna go to my documents and I'm gonna go to FreeShow. And in my backups, I've got media, settings, themes, templates, projects, overlays, events, stage shows, and synced settings. I believe in your synced settings, there's something there, but I don't know. Let me go back. Let me look in here and see if there's anything else. Those are imports, recordings. Let me look in the config file. History shows, settings, projects, templates, stage, overlays, events. Let's look at this. Let's do open with text edit. And we're going to just look. I know everything looks puny. I'm sorry about that. I don't know how to make this bigger, except in terms of the text and all that stuff. So this shows your categories that you have. I'm just breaking down what's in this JSON file. I am not a coder by any means, so don't mess any of this stuff up because it could be devastating. But I'm looking at it to kind of give an answer. So I've got categories. I got one called song, presentation, scripture, events, planning center, and then these other ones, they don't, training test, chums, announcements, pastor's notes, Sunday worship. These are all categories, right? And then it's got some drawer settings, and that has to do, I believe, with my FreeShow drawer at the bottom there. And let's go down a little bit more. Template categories. So we got categories for our templates that we make, right? So I got presentations, song, lower thirds, songs, all those things, that's there. Styles, okay? So all the styles that you have created that you use, those are saved in this, we're in the sync, the settings synced. And I'm looking basically for those functions like actions and stuff like that. All right, so I'm just scrolling through to see if there's anything that gives me, I'm still in my styles. I had a lot of them. Let's see here. And all I'm doing is just looking at these. So this is live blue grunge. That's another one of my styles. I got a load of styles, you guys. So we got timers. So yeah, so I believe your functions will be found here. So here's the timers. So I got a list of all of my timers. There's a 45-minute, the hall passing timer, the hall screen, start service timer. Those will be in your synced settings, Al. And then variables, here's all your functions. So your variables are here as well. I got my one beginner topic for our show today. So when I click on my one beginner topic, it'll show up. You guys can't see that. Let me see. Let me make it visible. So you'll see here, it's got the slide text. Let me turn the slide text off real quick. And all I'll do for that is I'm just going to right click on this and edit. And I'm going to edit this slide style and turn that off. All right. So you guys can still see my screen, but also see that style. So that's what we're on right here. So this is the beginner topic, and you'll see the text for it is OBS. That's what you see down here at the bottom. All right. So variables are there. What else we got here? I got a lot of variables too. This comes from months and months of training stuff. Okay, so let's see here. What do we got here? See everything you're presenting. What are these? These are text sets. Oh, so this is more variables. So these are like from those, from some variable text sets that I've done. So there's a lot of those. Another text set here, and triggers. So I've got a lot of radio stations. I did a video about that on our FreeShow Friday a few weeks back, showing all these. This is Gospel 91, Gospel 340 or 1340. So all that stuff will be here. This is my playlist, and I'm not sure what. Oh, these are all the songs in the playlist. All of my media files that I've got pointed to it. So it pulls all that in. And this is literally a whole library of stuff. These are scriptures that I've got. So yes, you should be able to do it from that synced settings folder in your config. You can just copy this, save it to a thumb drive or something like that. If I look back on it, let's see how big that file is. It is 233 kilobytes. So it's not super large at all. Okay. So hopefully that helps answer your question, Al, where you can save that stuff that way and then go into your other computer and basically replace that file. So I would save that one and put it in another place that's settings synced, and then bring in your other one that you got and bring it in. The best way to do it, honestly, is to probably just do a full backup everything, and then bring it all in. That way it'll be at a point and find everything that it needs to find. All right. Let's see here. Malvin Miner. Welcome, my friend. Make sure to let us know where you guys are from. Let's see here. I'm receiving an error. We're doing some Q&A real quick. Error message stating FreeShow closed unexpectedly upon closing FreeShow. However, I'm closing the app. Okay, so it says I'm receiving an error message stating FreeShow closed unexpectedly upon closing FreeShow. Oh. What version are you running on that, Malvin Miner? That's a good question. I'm not sure why it's doing that, because you're purposely closing it and it's saying it closed unexpectedly. I did have it close on me unexpectedly maybe yesterday. That was like the first time I'd seen that maybe in 7 or 8 months. I was so thrown off. I was like, what's going on? But I opened up a lot of stuff on my computer and I was exporting something and doing a lot of different stuff. So it just kind of stopped, and it had been on for a while. So that's the only time I've seen it, but I'm running the latest version. I'm running 1.5.1. If you're in a beta, it could be a challenge. Okay, from Indy, welcome. So yeah, I'm not sure what would be causing something like that. Check the version you're using and see if there's a later version that's available. And earlier we were looking at the versions of FreeShow that are currently out. Let me see here. So we're at 1.5.1. I'd be curious to know what you've got. So if you go up to the top and hit view and hit toggle focus mode. This is the only way I know to do it. It might be another way to get to that. And hit it again, and it'll bring you into this page, and you'll see, like, basically this is the opening page. And let me clear out my overlays so you can see what I did. All right, so at the top, I went to view and I hit toggle focus mode, and it allowed me to get here. I hit it 2 times and it brought up the version of FreeShow that I'm using. So you're using 1.5.0. That's a good question. I'm not sure why it's doing that for you, because that's a solid version. You may want to update, because I know there've been several bug fixes. If we go back down to the first beta of 1.5.1, so let's see if they fix that in here at all. So this is where you can see if they fix your issue, and this is what I always do. So freeze issues. Let's see some chords, admin profile, no, color, convert, background, custom slide recording, broken outline stage, no, project. All right, added Japanese language, updated languages, and then I would just go to the next version. So this was beta 2. Let's see here. Fix show, search freezing, text edit, stage editor, slides, show not loading, and output. No, none of those sound like what you're running into. I'm just looking to make sure. Fix various freeze issues. These freeze issues have been going on. So I think that might be something that was really a deal that happened after 150, and in 151 he was working to fix those. So each one of these bug fixes I've seen fixing freezing shows and things like that. And when it says it quit unexpectedly, it could be because it froze and it just kind of stopped. So I think you may benefit from updating. Let me see here. Local scripture, cloud sync, renaming scripture. Yeah, I would consider updating. Personally, I would consider going to 151, the full version, not the betas. Go to the full one. And I don't think anything here. Vertical alignment reset. Nothing showed up. But when you do run into those kind of issues, make sure to put a ticket in on GitHub by going to the we go here to the FreeShow page. If you go here, when you get to the FreeShow website, you can just click this little, it's a GitHub icon, but it looks like a little cat or something like that. That's their logo, I guess. When you click that, it'll take you to a place where you can submit a ticket. All right. And when you do that, it'll bring you here. Mine looks like this. Yours will probably take you straight to the issues page. And you can go to issues here and just say new issue. And you can submit it by hitting new issue. And all you do is say bug report. Okay. When you do that, it pops up a screen. It just lets you fill in the blanks, put a title to it, telling them what's described, basically what it is saying, hey, it's not forced quitting, but what'd you call it? Unexpectedly closed unexpectedly, and then describe what's going on when you do it. So you just clear this stuff out and then just type over it. So I just delete that stuff out and I just start typing to describe the bug. Reproducing it, you can describe how you will reproduce it. I would just select in here and delete that stuff and start typing in here as well. And then if you can create a screenshot, that's fine. The unexpected window thing is something they'll probably be familiar with. What Christopher may ask for, though, is a change log, right? So he might ask you for your log files or something like that. So I'm going to close that and discard it. All right. Let's see here. Larry Sweeting is saying, is there a way to upload Canva project files to FreeShow without separately downloading each file? Canva project files. Yes and no. So Canva files can be exported in a number of different ways. So first thing, Larry, let me know, how are you exporting your Canva files? Are they images? Are they videos, or a combination of both? Would be first thing. Are they PDFs? You can export in PDF as well. Let me know how you're doing it, because my recommendation, no matter how you're doing it in those, is to download all of it, that whole project as whatever you want it to be, whether it's a video or a photo, and then save it to your computer, right? Once you save it to your computer, and I'll pull up, this is still Q&A time. Once you save it to your computer, all I would do is then go into my drawer, and I would just go to media, and I would just go to the bottom and just say add folder, wherever you saved it to. So if it's videos, I would save it in my videos folder. And if you've already got a folder for that, like I got a movies folder where I keep most of my videos, and then I would just go to where that is. And I've got like some downloads here, and I would have one just called Canva downloads or something like that. That would be my recommendation. And then when you get to it, all you would do, so let's see if I got one that makes sense to open up, because I got a bunch of stuff in these. Landscape backgrounds. Okay. And so then you would see those files. So these are video files that I was working on. All right. And they're just here. And that would be the quickest and easiest way. And then all you do is just drag them where you want. Okay. Make them a background, just select them. So I can select that and it'll turn into my background. And I didn't have to import it one by one. I just downloaded everything from Canva, all the images. So you got images. What I would say is download all of them on your Canva project, and just say download all, and it'll download into a zip file. You have to open up that zip file, and it'll be a folder, and then just drag that folder in your computer wherever, and then just point FreeShow in the media folder where you want it to go. And that would be the quickest and easiest way to do it, because then it's organized already where you want it to be in your structure that you've got already in your computer. You don't have to move it out of there, but all you do then is just drag it on wherever you want to. So you can select any background you want that you want to use. All right. So that would be my recommendation with it. Great question. Great question. All right, you guys, let's get in. Keep the questions coming. Keep the question. Oh, does it auto save the files? That's a good question. So this is the cool thing about that process that I just described to you guys. It is only pointing to those files. So your computer has them saved. As long as they're on your computer, FreeShow will always be able to find it, because it's just pointing to that folder that you selected over here. All right. So yes and no, it saves it to whenever you open up FreeShow, it's going to always point to that folder, whatever you called it, whether it's Canva files or something like that. They'll always be there because you've got them on your computer. Now, if you delete them off your computer, then they won't be in FreeShow. Okay. Unless you do a backup of everything in FreeShow. And I don't even know if it'll keep all those folders, the content of each of those folders. I don't think it'll keep that. So you want to just keep it on your computer, and it'll always be there for you. Now, if you drag it onto a show and you back up everything, yes, if you make it a part of a show, it will be backed up and it'll be there when you back up everything and, you know, do your auto saves and all that stuff. It will save that file to the show, even if you delete those folders off your computer. All right. All right. GK, second question. Talk to me. Oh, let me see. Did you ask a second question already? Oh, I didn't even see it. Can I use Hindi Bibles in FreeShow? You can definitely use Hindi Bibles in FreeShow if you have a Hindi Bible in XML format for sure. Let me go to scripture here and let's see if there's one in there. So I went to my scripture tab and let me pull this out the way. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to make those not block everything. But the reason why that's like that, because before I used to do this. So I used to do my split share to where you guys would see it like that. And so they wouldn't be blocking. So we'll do it that way for now. All right. And so in your Bibles tab or scripture tab, I'm sorry. Now it would be crazy cool if you could change the name of these tabs. You can't change the names of them, but the scriptures tab, if you scroll down to the bottom, there's an option that says new scripture, right? When you select that, it gives you an option to select API or local. The local Bibles are what I was talking about. If you have an XML version of a Hindi Bible, you select local and just find that on your computer wherever you've got it saved. That would be the best bet. But let's go to API Bibles. These are online accessible. So I'm going to type in Hindi, Hindi. And here's the versions of the Bible we have in Hindi. We got Hindi Contemporary Version 2019. We got the Hindi Literal Text, and we have the Hindi Standard Bible. So there are quite a few versions to pick from, and these are available for you. And this says Indian Revised Version. This is the Hindi Bible for all, and then the Holy Bible in Hindi. So there's a bunch of them. Let me know which one of those resonates the most with you. If any of those are popular or useful or being used currently in your fellowship, let me know, GK. But these are the ways you would find them. And then as long as you have access to the internet, you will be able to access those Bibles. All right. You'll be able to access those. Now, once you don't have access to the internet, maybe you're doing something outside or you got your laptop and you trying to do FreeShow in a different environment without Wi-Fi or hardwire or a mobile connection or something like that, you won't have access to those Bibles. But what you can do is do a pre-converting of your show. So once you do pick the version of the Bible you want, you can go into that version of the Bible. They'll show up down here at the bottom. So under the API version of the Bibles, you'll see that API tag there. And we'll clear this out. All right. And so you'll see the API tag and all your Hindi Bibles that you want will be listed here. And then you can select it. And before you go out away from Wi-Fi, you can select those shows or the scriptures you want. Maybe you just want these scriptures here, and you can right click and convert it to a show, right? When you convert it to a show, you can select split reference, which I recommend at least, and then say convert to show. And now that show is there, whether you have access to the internet or not, it will be saved on your computer because you created the show. And I say it'll be saved on your computer. Make sure in your settings, you got it set to, I got mine set to where it auto saves. And so under, I believe it's general. Let me see here. Output, show projects. It must be under other. So I got mine set to, no, not there. Files. Okay, here we go. Files. I got mine set to autosave every 15 minutes. And you can also just do a Command S, right? So I can go back to my show. Command or Control S will automatically save. You'll see down here at the bottom, it'll say that it's saved. All right. That's what you want to have. Once you make a show or something like that, and you want to have it accessible offline, that would be my recommendation. All right. Malvin Miner says, have you experienced using templates/shows set up on Mac and using them on a PC? I have not. I have not got a Windows computer yet. I'm gonna try to get one soon enough. But excuse me. Sorry about that, you guys. Had to go down the wrong pipe. But it should not be a problem because they are JSON files. And they are arranged the same way, so you shouldn't have a problem with it. So as we were looking here, no matter if you're in a Mac or Windows, the file type for FreeShow that it reads won't change. So I don't expect that to be a problem for anybody. to be able to have your files made on a Mac computer, and you're sending them or transferring them on a thumb drive or something like that, or emailing them to yourself, putting them on a Google Drive or something like that, they'll be accessible on another version or another type of computer because the file type is going to be readable no matter what version or type of operating system you have, right? Great question. All right. So for my beginners out there, one of the things I want to do is I want to talk to you all about OBS. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of people, they get this kind of software like FreeShow or ProPresenter or whatever it is, and they want to use it, excuse me, they want to use it to live stream well, all right? Now, they also want to use it in-house. So the primary reason for something like this is in-house, right? In the fellowship, in the sanctuary, real time, you and your team or you by yourself as a one-man band, you are helping support the gospel message by showing the lyrics to the song. So, and allowing people to continue to engage in the worship, whether they know the song or not. That's a big deal. So you play a very important part as a media person, right? This is something I've been a media person for probably 20 years. I would say about 20 years. Yeah, maybe a little bit less, maybe 16 years I've served in that function in some capacity, in some fellowship or working with fellowships and things like that. For the last 10 years, I've been a media consultant as my primary work, okay? And that's been me working with a lot of individual churches. And so I say that to say that you play a pivotal role in making sure that the in-house fellowship can enjoy and participate and see the truth of the scriptures on the screens or the projectors, whatever you have, because of your influence or your kingdom role in the service, right? So that's important. Now, some of you want to take it and expand it to the nations throughout the world through the internet. And by doing that, you also want to have that same spirit of excellence. You want to do it well. Free Show can help you do that, especially if you partner with the program called OBS, or I say OBS because OBS is free. Some people prefer to use vMix, I believe is one. You may choose other platforms that you pay for, right? That's fine as well. But the thing I like about OBS is that it's so flexible, and it reminds me so much of what I get when I use FreeShow. It's flexible as well. Both of these programs can work in conjunction, and that's what I typically do. That's what I do right now on my live stream. And so I want to show you all a little bit of it from a standpoint of a live streamer. But for you all, when you start live streaming, you become a live streamer too. So you will be the live streamers. All right. So you'll see a little bit of a duplicate of a screen, but I want to give you guys an idea of what some basic things you need to understand about FreeShow. Okay. Let's change that to this, so it's not not a problem. All right. Oh, wait, then you can't see my screen. Let me see if I can change that to something else. Let's do split share. Is that as distracting? Hopefully it's not as distracting. You guys tell me, do you guys want the full screen like this, or do you want the split share screen? Let me know to where split like that. All right. While you guys do that or think about that, I'm going to pull up something as well. I need to go to get you guys a link. If you want to sign up for the YOLOcast 1 year free option, as we talk about live streaming, this is when I wanted to do it, is I want to share something with you guys. Let's see here. So let me share a link. All right. I'm going to put this link in the chat. For those who want to sign up, and I will do the drawing but before we wrap up today, okay? And this is for a 1 year subscription with YOLOcast that allows you to do what I'm doing using OBS, but you also have flexibility with YOLOcast to stream to multiple other platforms, and or you can you can stream it to your own website with this particular option as well, to where you can embed your live stream on your church website. Simple and easy with YOLOcast, if you understand how to use FreeShow and OBS together. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about OBS. So the first thing that I will tell you about OBS that I know is important is, if you want to walk and talk with FreeShow with it, is you want to go in and get a tool called Distro AV NDI. All right, Distro AV NDI. This is an important tool because what it does is it gives you a seamless transition wirelessly over your wireless network to be able to see um, your FreeShow NDI settings. All right, let's see here. I'm looking at a note here. So Malvin says, I know you just released a 2 languages video. Are you able to use 2 languages in one lower third with 2 lines, i.e. the top being English and the bottom line Spanish? I don't see a reason why you couldn't. It's just a matter of the way that you format that template. Okay. So in that video, check it out, because the way I showed was I kind of customized a template. And you're saying basically you want to show 2 languages on the same screen, on the same lower thirds is what I'm understanding. Be able to use 2 languages on one lower third with 2 lines. So yes, you can definitely do that. You just need to make a template. And one of the first things I did was show how to show 2 languages at the same time on each screen. So each screen has 2 languages, right? So that was one of the first things I did in that video. So check it out. And it should give you some insight as to how you would do that for you, because your lower thirds is really going to be dependent on how you want to format it. Some people like a transparent, some people like a box, or some people like a rounded box, all kinds of stuff. So you would dictate how that is, but that principle there will stay the same in terms of you would just make 2 text boxes and you'll be able to arrange them in your lower thirds to fit in there. But yes, that is described in there in hopefully in a way that makes sense. Let me know if that works for you. All right. So going back to OBS, you want to make sure that you have your NDI from Distro AV, download it, import it, save, and all that kind of stuff. And each it gives you some steps to do it. Look it up, see how to do that, and make sure to get it. The next thing is you want to make sure in FreeShow that you've got your output. Okay, so you want to have an output. If I go to my outputs here, and I just went to my settings, you want to have a primary output, which is what I have here. Okay, you can see that there. That's my primary output. And then you want to have an output that speaks to your live stream somehow. Now, some people say, I just want my primary to be the output that I put on my live stream. Others may say, I want to show a camera feed on my live stream along with the text, the lyrics, and things like that. Okay. That would be a separate output. So I got one here called live 2 training. So if I go ahead and edit it, what you'll find is I've made a style for that output that's called live training 2. And if we go to that style, you'll see it's got a background color that is green, right? That's just a default for transparent stuff. That's there, but I've also got it set to where it only shows overlays. You also, for you would turn it on to show slides as well. That way you will see your lyrics. For my live stream where I'm doing this talking head stuff, where I'm just talking to you guys, the slide lyrics aren't that important. It's really more about me teaching and talking. Whereas for service, the slide lyrics, the scriptures, and all that stuff are going to be very important. So you would turn on both of these for your style. Okay. Then you would go back to your output, which is what we're on here, live 2 training. And you would make sure that you turn on NDI, which is right in the middle of the screen here. All right. You'll be able to turn on NDI. So it says enable, it's done. And I got audio on as well. That's just my personal preference. Because for me, if you play music through FreeShow, it'll carry through to your live stream. That's the biggest benefit. I don't know of many ministries that use FreeShow to route their audio right away or right now. Most of the time the audio is routed to OBS. But if you have audio that's playing through here, sound effects and things like that in FreeShow, your audio being on will bring those into OBS over your NDI network, over the wireless network. All right. The frames per second, 30 frames per second is fine. You can keep it that way. But if you know specifically that you're shooting in a different frame rate, you can pick it. So sometimes you might shoot in 24 frames. Some people might shoot in 60. That's not likely. Mostly you'll see that for sports, but most ministries are going to be 29.9, which is 30. Okay, so you select 30, that'll be fine. Or 23.9 something, and that's going to be 24. Okay, it just defaults there. And then the next thing I do is I turn on this transparent. All right, I make transparent be there, and I turn on invisible window because my window is not a physical plug-in. That's what that invisible window means. And then transparent just means instead of there being that green background, I really just don't want anything to be there. I just want my overlays to show up on top of my video. All right. And so now if I go back into my OBS, I've got my NDI on, and all you would do then is you would just make, and I can't do that manually because it'll automatically go to it, but you would make a new scene, right? So you make a scene with hitting this plus sign down here, and then you would hit in that, after you do that, you'll name it what you want. You might call this live service or ministry service or main camera or something along those lines. And then in that scene, you want to add sources, which is this category here. And in the sources, you want to hit the plus sign as well. Now for mine right now on this scene, I've got in this scene called FreeShow Friday. Let me right click. You can see a different, yours would default to be list mode. So right now it's FreeShow Friday split screen shares, what this is called. It's a long title for a scene, but that's what I did. And then in this scene, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements or sources, okay? So the yellow background is just the yellow background. I can mute it and make it go away, and you'll just see it all black, which is the default, right? The white box, a lot of you guys think these are lines, and I've designed my show to look like that, but it's really just a big box, okay? It's just a box behind everything, and I just put everything inside the box. So it'll look like there's an outline. You all likely won't need anything like this, but I'm just showing you these elements so you can be comfortable, because my goal is to help you have some confidence, okay? And so the next one is the top screen, okay? So my top screen has to do with what I'm showing right here. And so if you select any of these elements, they'll highlight and put an outline around where they are in OBS. This is just an intro to OBS, all right? So stay with me, all right? And then I've got my camera feed here, all right? So this is my camera. If I select that, you'll see that's me over here. And I actually shrunk or cropped the edges of my my camera feed. Like I said, you all likely won't need to do that. You'll most likely just need to shrink and make things smaller and larger. And so let's talk about that. So my top screen right here, I can make it smaller and larger by simply dragging it up from the corner, all right? And moving it to be bigger or smaller. You'll see that big white box back there. And I can do the same thing this way, dragging it back out and making it bigger, all right? And that's completely up to your preference as to how big you make it, okay? And I just try to make it somewhat aligned for my with my video here, okay? But then there's another one here, all right? So this is a camera, okay? And all you're doing is hitting this little plus sign. You'll see these little icons show up, but when you hit the plus sign, you'll see all these options. So one of my options, let's see here, this yellow background, you'll see the little picture icon there. So if I hit the plus sign, what that is actually a, let's see, it's not audio, it's not a browser, it's not a capture card, it's not a color source, it's a media source, okay? So it's a media source, and what I did when I select that, it pops up and says, actually, let's see, maybe not. Let me see, it says it's not any media source to select it. Let me see if there's another option. NDI, image, sorry, it's an image. So I can select image, and you'll see a list of all the images that I have in OBS right now, which is this yellow background, which I've got. Or I can make a new image. So I can say new image. All right. And we'll call it blue. All right. And I'll say, okay. And then OBS is saying, okay, you got this new image blue. Where is it on your computer? And then you would just browse on your computer and you will find your image. So I'm gonna go to my documents. I'm gonna go to FreeShow. I think I'm gonna go to my yellow box files, and I will do my grunge background media kit, and I'll pick a blue background. So I'll say that one, all right? So now you'll see that image show up, and it says unload image when not showing, or apply alpha in linear space. I don't check any of those off. I'll just say, okay. And I keep those unchecked, all right? And then you got this image on the top. Now, why is it on top? It's because these are all layers, okay? So if I move it down below my live stream, guess what? My FreeShow Friday stuff, which are my FreeShow live stream, is there. And now the blue thing is below that because I dragged it below. Okay, so these are just layers. They're just all stacked up on top of each other. If I move the blue image below, I just drag this down below my GH5, which is my camera. Now it's behind my head. It's not blocking me anymore because I put it behind my camera. All right, I can make this blue image be as big as I want. So to select it, you got to select it there, and then you'll see the little red box around it. I can make it be bigger. Okay. Now, cool, quick tip for you guys that I like to do is I like to right click on my sources, especially if they need to fill the whole screen. And I go to this transform option. All right. And over in transform, there's an option that just says fit to screen, and it automatically makes it fill your screen for you. That's the best way to make your items fill your screen. We got Kyle Clausen saying hi. What's going on, Kyle? From South Africa. Welcome, my friend from South Africa. All right. We're talking about OBS. This is our beginners into OBS. We're doing a discussion about it. I'll probably make some more videos about it later on. But yes, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. When we look at this, we've got our full screen now because I right clicked on it and I selected transform. Now transform is your friend. I don't use any of these other options up here, believe it or not. I don't right click and select any of these things, but you can play with those, some blending modes and all that stuff. But from a basic level, what you want to do is you want to understand how to transform. The order is here as well. You can right click and order it, but I think dragging it in the order I want is easier for me. All right. But you can move it to the top or move it to the bottom. But transform, this is one that's a sneaky important feature, okay? Because sometimes you'll bring things in and they might get distorted, right? Maybe you shrink it or drag it and you make it too small and you don't want to do that. You can reset your transform. So I can reset and it brings it right back to the way it was when it first came in, all right? And the reason it's coming in this way is because it's actually a 1920 by 1080 size file. So it's 1/4 the size of my 4K output. And I've got my output set up as 4K. That's why that's showing up 1/4 the size. I can drag this 4 times and it'll fill the whole screen. All right. But I can just right click to fill the screen by going to transform. All right. And I can just say fit to screen and it fits the whole screen. All right. So that's a big deal. Okay. But I've got a scene and I've got sources. My sources can be stacked. Now to get my FreeShow in, I hit the plus sign here and I hit NDI source. All right. When you do that, you're going to get an option here to name that source. So you might call it FreeShow live stream, whatever you've got it named in your, in FreeShow, that's what I would recommend you call it. Okay. For me, I've got some already. You'll see FreeShow live stream, FreeShow stage. I've also got some, I got green NDI, I got primary FreeShow. So I've got a lot of different NDI sources from FreeShow. But when you get there, what you'll do is I'm gonna right click on this and go to properties. And this is what you will see. And you'll be able to see a source name. If you turned on NDI in FreeShow, you'll see your source name listed here. And you'll see mine's is called FreeShow NDI Live to Training. That's from Gary's MacBook Pro. That's me. All right. And it's showing on my local network because my computer's on the network itself and OBS is on the same computer. So it's on the same network. All right. And I just pick that. I just select that and it automatically shows you what it is. Now, if I said I want this one to actually be the primary feed, you'll see the primary feed shows up and it shows an entire screen. Okay. It's not invisible because remember, we made the live stream NDI invisible. So I prefer to pick my live stream option here. And now that whole slide goes away and it's just invisible. And I say, okay, all right. So that's how that works. So that's your scenes and your sources. Now, for some of you all setting up to go live is a big challenge. The simple and short of it is if you go to your settings, you'll have an option for general. I don't change much anything in here. Okay. It's a bunch of stuff down there. It can be overwhelming, I know. But as you get more comfortable with it, feel free to go in there and play with it. Appearance, I don't change anything with that. Stream, I do change this because you have to put in where you want to stream to. And I just pick YouTube as the default and it has that option there. And then it asks you to put in your server and you'll put in your key, right? From your YouTube account to customize and make sure that it's your stream that's going out and not anybody else's. All right. And then I've got my maximum video bit rate is set here. I didn't do any of that. I didn't change any of that. That's just a default for YouTube, I believe. But then I go to my output. So my output is my streaming option is first and it has, and I got it set to simple, which is fine. And my video bit rate is set to 15,000 kilobits, which is 15 megs per second. Okay. And then audio bit rate is set to 160. That's kind of a default. I didn't change much of that at all either. And then my recording, I do a lot of recording from OBS as well. So I've got my recording settings set up here to be high quality, medium file size, MOV fragmented, which basically means it's not going to corrupt the file if my computer shuts down or accidentally, battery runs out. It'll still have an MOV file there. It won't wait till the end to finalize the video, okay, and encode it or whatever. And then the encoder I use is HEVC, which just stands for high efficiency. It's just a more small. It's a smaller file size, okay. And then AAC, that's the default thing. I don't do anything with that, okay. All those things are default. And then audio, this is where it can be interesting as well. A lot of ministries I've worked with, they didn't know how to set up their audio. So for me, what I recommend you do is I run my audio directly from my camera. Okay. So my audio is mic auxiliary audio. So you don't want to have your desktop audio. You don't need any of that on. But you do need to have some auxiliary audio. Your mic auxiliary audio, one, the very first one, there's not 2, 3, or 4. You want to set that one to come. I recommend run all of your audio from your soundboard directly to your camera, and then run your camera HDMI into your computer through a capture card, through an ATEM switcher, which is a capture card as well. Just got multiple ports for cameras, and then select that as your audio. So you see me on this microphone here, but I've got a soundboard here, and it's connected to my camera right there. And now my camera is USB digital audio through a little capture card. All right. And when I say little capture card, I don't have a visual to show you guys because I got it plugged up. Let me see. Hold on, I might have another one. Let me see. Here I come. All right. So I couldn't find my official capture card, but oh, I'm using it over here. That's why. Here it is. So here's the capture card that I use. This is one of them at least. I use this is I probably got this for $10 on Amazon, and it's HD video and audio capture. Now for $10, it's not going to be the highest quality capture card, but it's a USB-C because my computer only takes USB-C, so that keeps it simple for me. You might buy one that just has a regular USB on the end of it, which is fine as well. They should all work the same. But yeah, so that's the capture card I use, and that's what this will represent for you. Whatever the name of this device shows up on your computer, you would pick that because that's coming straight from your camera. Let's see here. Ryan says, sorry, Gary, might be me not seeing OBS. Oh, you guys are only seeing the blue background? That's no good. Let me see. Let's see. Let's get rid of the blue background. So, yeah, that's no good. So you guys couldn't see the pop-up screen either, huh? All right. Let's talk about that. Seeing the blue. Okay. But you can see my face, right? You guys you guys were able to see my face, I think, right? And just hear me talk, I think. And so let me go back to the settings real quick because that was something that got lost. Can you guys see this pop-up screen? Let me know if you guys can see this pop-up screen here. Let me see if it's showing up. Yeah, it should be showing up. All right. And so this is my settings. I went through the general, and I think you guys, let me know if you saw that. Did you guys see the settings that I was in? Ryan, were you able to see this screen earlier where you could see me go through the appearance, the stream, and all that stuff? Okay, good, good. That's all I was showing. That was the main thing, first of all. That's good. Good. I'm glad you guys brought that up, though. All right. And so to get rid of that blue screen, all I did, it's still down here. All I did was let me pull this out the way. It's still down here, but all I did was make it be muted. So these little eyeballs let things go away. So I can make that go away. So now you don't see my face, okay? But that little eyeball icon made the blue image go away. All right, we can see you in OBS and the infinity screen. Oh, Terry said we didn't see the settings. Okay, so let's go to the settings real quick. And in the settings, I just hit the settings icon down here on the bottom right, and you should be able to see this. I'm trying to make sure it's somewhere you can see it and it makes sense. All right. So this is the complication of trying to train OBS in a live stream. So forgive me, you guys. But in the general, I didn't change anything there. Appearance, I didn't change anything there. But for the stream, you do want to select where you want to stream to, obviously. All right. For you doing it from your church or whatnot, you can stream directly from YouTube, which is what I typically do. The reason why I'm giving away the YOLOcast stuff is because YOLOcast reached out to me and they wanted me to make a video for them. And my recommendation to them was I can make the video, but I don't necessarily want live streaming support from you guys for me, but I would rather be able to give it away to the audience. So give it away to you guys. So that's why we do the YOLOcast thing, because YOLOcast does work seamlessly with OBS, which is good. So everything I'm talking to you about, if you were to win the YOLOcast, speaking of which, make sure you sign up for the YOLOcast. I put the link in earlier. Make sure you see that if you haven't seen it. Let me see if we got a few responses. Only got 2 people signed up so far, which is fine. You got a good chance of winning. We're going to pull one winner today. And then we'll do one next month as well, the last Friday of each month. All right. For the next, for 6 winners. I got access to 6 winners, I think they gave me. So yeah. Make sure to sign up if you haven't already. The link is in the chat. All right. So output, I went to my bit rate. My bit rate is pretty high. I've got a direct connection to my internet. My router's right here. And so I've got it connected through Ethernet. So 15,000 kilobits is basically 15 megs. Most typically, you should be fine with something around 5 to 6 megs is pretty good. And as long as you're not streaming, I'm streaming in 4K. Most of the time, you're going to stream in HD. Okay, HD is going to probably be the best thing for you guys. So you don't need 15. This will probably be somewhere like 5,000. Okay, that would be ideal. But I still recommend you have a hardwired connection to your computer. All right, for that to work. And the encoder, I got HEVC, but for you, you might choose, and for example, if you do the YOLOcast winning, you're going to have to pick software X64 as the default because it works best with that. So you would pick the X64 as your encoder for your video, as opposed to the hardware encoders. For Apple, it works out for me better to use the hardware encoders just because they're so robust. Okay. Now for audio, this is where I think we left off. We were talking about making sure your audio comes in directly as a clean feed from your sound system. All right. Most ministries nowadays will have some type of sound system. If you don't have a sound system, that's fine, but you want to have a clean connection from your camera is what I would recommend. So if some of you all are using your cameras, maybe you got a camcorder, maybe you have some type of mirrorless camera, some type of cinema camera, the audio from that. So put a microphone on that camera to capture the worship, capture the speaker and all that stuff. That way it'll at least be consistent across the board, and then run that HDMI cable into your capture card that I showed you guys, one of these guys, or something bigger. You can do it into an ATEM or something like that. And that'll serve as a capture card because it connects to your computer with USB. All right. And then you would pick that audio for your input, okay? Whatever that capture card name is. So Mr. Terry says, what are uses of OBS with FreeShow? The biggest use is that you can get your lyrics into your live stream, all right? So let's talk about that. So I'm gonna say, okay, video-wise, this is where you would pick your canvas. I would keep it at the default for whatever yours is. I made mine's 4K, but for you guys, it's probably gonna default to like HD, which is more than enough. And then I don't do anything else down here with any of that stuff. So I'm gonna cancel that. So let's talk about why that can be helpful. To me, the most helpful reason for it is this down here. So you can see I got OBS and I got FreeShow Friday. For your live stream, you might have your ministry logo down here in the bottom left, right? Or the name of the speaker that's coming up in the bottom left while you're doing your live feed with the video camera, right? So the video camera is connected to the capture card with a USB to HDMI. This is the HDMI side on this side, and then the USB connects to the computer. That makes it a capture card to where it'll convert that. Now, that's different than an output. This is an output card. This actually it looks exactly the same, but it just allows my computer to have an extra monitor to go to, okay? So 2 different things. Capture cards allow you to receive video and audio, and then extenders just allow you to send out audio and video, okay? But all that to say, with FreeShow, the biggest benefit is being able to have your lyrics show up. So if I go back here into FreeShow and I right click, I'm going to edit this and I'm going to turn the slides on. All right. So we go to slides. And so now you'll see the lyrics down there. All right. And let's go here. And I'm going to show you guys what it would look like typically. I don't think I can. Yeah, I can. I can. All right. So if I go here, you guys can see those lyrics down there at the bottom. I don't have a bigger screen. I could make it bigger, but I don't. You guys, your screen won't have these sidebars with it and all that kind of stuff. But I got a big bright white shirt on. You can make this to where there's a box behind it. So if I were to go back, let's go into FreeShow again. Some of you all may prefer for your your outline or your lower thirds. So lower thirds is a big reason to me with OBS and FreeShow. You might want your lower thirds to look like this. I don't want to do that. I'll do, let's do this one. I like that look. All right. So we'll do a blue. All right. So now when I do talking head, you see, oh, you don't see me at all. Let me turn that back off. Hold on. Let's go here and change that. And I will turn the background off. All right. So now you'll see the lyrics down there in the box, in the blue box, and I can turn my overlays off. And so it won't even interfere with my overlays from here. So you'll be able to worship and how that, and they'll be able to see the lyrics online and or scriptures the same way. So you'll be able to see your scriptures online as well, which is a big deal. So if I go into FreeShow, and I'm gonna share that with you guys. If I go back into my show and I go to some scriptures, this is Romans 12. It doesn't show up. Let me pull it up to where I can adjust this to be a lower thirds as well. So this is FreeShow Friday. Let's pick one that actually shows the scriptures in a way that's pretty cool. Let's do live training 2. I like that. So it's red. So now when I go to the show and I come back to me, and I come to talking head, so your pastor may be speaking and teaching, and you can have this lower third show up to show the scripture for the people that are online, and it's completely in sync to whatever you want it to be done. And so you can go to your next verse the same way, and the people will be able to see it. All right. So that's the biggest reasons to me when it comes to why use FreeShow with OBS. So OBS allows you to live stream. FreeShow allows you to have your lyrics and your scriptures seamlessly. All right. So Larry says, if we use a phone, well, we still need to use a capture card to soundboard via audio to the CPU. So if we use a phone for video is what I'm guessing you're talking about, well, we still need the use of a capture card to send to soundboard. Use of capture card to soundboard via audio. So if you're using your phone for your live stream, okay, there's a couple ways you can do that. You can do it from FreeShow, because FreeShow allows you to have your phone wirelessly connect. If you have an Apple computer and an Apple phone, they can wirelessly send that signal out. If you are doing it, what are some other ways you can do it from your phone? I guess you can do you guys hardwire from your phone? Like you got a HDMI cable or something? Or are you just saying you're live streaming from your phone? That's probably what you're saying. So you're live streaming from your phone. Do we still need to use a capture card? If you want it to come through OBS, most likely, yes. Yeah, but if you're live streaming from your phone, like if you're on Facebook Live on the phone, you won't need OBS in that case, because OBS does that. It's a computer version of going to Facebook Live, or it's a computer version of going to YouTube Live. The downside is you just won't be able to show your lower thirds to your phone from FreeShow. Like it's hard to get that together, right? To sync those up, to show it. It's easy to do it from your computer is what I'm saying. So hopefully that makes sense to what you're asking about. So, but if let's say you're using your phone as a video source in OBS, all right, and you're saying, let's say that's the case, do we still need? It says, well, I want to use the phone as the camera. Okay, got you. So if we use the phone as the camera only, the question I would ask you is, how are you connecting your phone to your computer? That's important. How are you connecting your phone to your computer? And we're going to do the drawing at 12:30, you guys. So stick around till 12:30. That's when I'll do the drawing. And just remind me if I forget. And so however you got your phone connected as a camera to your computer, you could use something, yeah, I guess you could use a capture card. Okay, through NDI. Okay, got you. So if you're using NDI, then you would bring it in. You would need the NDI camera app, right? So let's see if we can figure this out. You need the NDI camera app. And I think I still have it. I'm just searching on my phone. Okay. And it's called, on my iPhone, it's called NDI HX camera. And so if I select it, all right. So let's see if we can figure that out. So this is FreeShow live stream. This is my GH5 camera, and then I got that. I'm going to add in another NDI source. And you guys can't see this though. So let me share my screen. I know it looks crazy. Forgive me. All right. So I'm going to go here. Let's get rid of this so you guys can see it real quick. So I'm going to go into OBS and I'm going to select here and I'm going to select NDI source, which I've turned on my iPhone. And now I'm going to call it iPhone. And I'm going to say, okay. And then it asks me, what do I want to select? And there it is. So now I'm going to select this and let's pull this up to where it looks like it's showing something. Actually, I'll do it this way. So you guys can see my screen somewhat. It's going to look kind of weird. Let me see. I'm trying to see if I can maneuver where this thing goes so you guys can see something that makes something sort of sense. All right. We'll do that. All right. So that's my NDI camera there from my phone. So I can say okay. And you'll see here, like I said, it's not projecting in 4K. Let me see what the version is. It is projecting in settings. I'm just looking to see if I can fix it to be. So it's in 1080p. Let me see if I can make it 4K. Yeah, make it 4K. Okay. So there it is 4K. You guys can see that. It's not focusing really well. Let me see if I can make it focus by tapping on it. There we go. I'm not the steadiest hands apparently, but there's that. So it's showing my bit focus companion. All right. On my iPad. Right, so you guys can see me. And so I don't know what that little red light is up there, but you guys can see me. I don't know how to make it focus. So it's focusing on my microphone right now. But that's fine. All right, so you would do that, and then you bring that down under your live stream. So now your live stream be like this, and you have your camera connected to your camera connected to not FreeShow, but to OBS. And you have your FreeShow connected to OBS with this here. And yeah, you guys should be able to see that, right? You guys can see my. Let's see. The sound needs to be turned off. Oh. That makes sense. All right. So I've got my microphone on here, so you guys probably heard an echo. Sorry about that. And so the iPhone automatically brings the audio in with it. So you would use your audio from your iPhone, which let me let you guys hear how that sounds. So this is my audio from my iPhone. Which one sounds better? I don't know. iPhones usually have pretty good microphones, but tell me which one sounds better. I'm going to switch it back now. So now I'm switching back to my microphone here, which is just a lot bigger. Should be a more robust sound. Let's see here. What if I want to use the capture card? The capture card with your phone may be a challenge. I'm not sure how to do that one, Larry. The capture card is really good when you have a camera that has an HDMI output. All right. That's where the capture card is very, very important. For your phone, if you can run an HDMI output from it, I guess you could do that. So you wouldn't need NDI for it. So the capture card is for hardwired connections, right? But NDI is for wireless connections. All right. So you would pick which one you want. So you could get some type of converter or adapter from your phone to plug it in, and then Larry says probably the microphone. Okay, so good. You can get some type of converter for your phone. I'm gonna turn this to where you guys can see me a little bit better, and we'll do full share. We'll do talking head. All right, so you can get some type of converter to convert your phone into HDMI, and then run an HDMI cable into your computer with the capture card, and then you use your phone. The downside of it is, I think the only thing that can do that is give you a clean out from your phone for HDMI is going to be like the DaVinci Resolve, not DaVinci Resolve, the Blackmagic camera app. I believe there's an app that's free. I believe it works on Apple and Android, and it allows you to have a clean HDMI feed from your phone as long as you can, connect your phone to an HDMI cable, so you would need some type of adapter. That most phones do USB-C, Mine's is Thunderport. I don't know what it's called. It's a lightning port. I got an old iPhone 13 or something like that. All right. So it's not worth much to anybody except me because it works. So I like it. But I'm gonna turn off NDI, or trying to, at least on my phone. But so yeah, so that would be the way you would do it. And the only benefit of that is that you're going to have a hardwired connection that's not going to be wireless. So it should be a little bit more seamless and connected. You still need to figure out a way to power your phone though. So that's the downside. Your phone battery could die pretty quick, depending on how much work it's got to do. Thunderbolt. Yeah, thank you. No. Thunderbolt, I think, is USB on Apple devices. I think mine is a lightning port. I got an old school, man. It's old school because I got an old iPad and it takes the same charger. Okay. So he says, I use Orion webcam app with my phone and PC with a Type C USB cable. Now that's sweet. Okay, so basically what you're doing is you're bypassing, you're basically making your phone be the capture card, and using that USB-C directly from your phone to your computer. That could work. I never heard of IRIUN. Let me see here. We're getting close to the drawing time, so we got 5 more minutes. Those who want to sign up for a free year of YOLOcast, make sure to use that link that I put up in the description or in the chat somewhere. IRUIN webcam. Let me see what that looks like. Nice. All right, so let me do something. I'm going to do a full share, and we will slide over and pull this up. So this is what we were talking about here. The IRIUN. And basically it says use your phone's camera as a wireless webcam in your PC or Mac. Let's see here, webcam to your mobile phone and start using the phone with your favorite video applications. And it works for Ubuntu, Mac, and Windows. Nice. Okay. I like that. I'm gonna have to check that out. I might get that for my wife for her meetings and stuff. That's pretty cool. I like that a lot. All right, cool. I got an update here. I'll remind me later. All right. So OBS. This has been a long overview of it for beginners, but I want to make sure you guys understand something about it that makes a little sense to you. And I will clear out that scripture for now, just so it's not distracting. So those are some of the reasons that I would recommend using FreeShow with OBS. Okay. Now, with that, we got a lot of good questions, good comments, good thoughts, good feedback, but you want to make sure you have a scene set up. And in that scene, you put in your sources, and your sources are basically the items that you want to include on the screen for people to see. And then you would actually pick your settings. You would pick where the audio is going to come from and the way that you want to stream, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, and all that kind of stuff. All right. What I'll do is I'll pause there. That was a pretty long and lengthy, in-depth beginner piece. For our intermediate, I was going to talk about 2 displays in FreeShow. So I'll pull up FreeShow real quick and we could talk a little bit about that because I think it's important because we did get another question about it earlier. So if I go to show, you can see here I've got my scriptures and I've got 2 outputs here. Now, the caveat, as I said earlier with OBS, is you want to be able to run 2 separate outputs. So on here, I've got 2 separate outputs. Let me pull this over real quick. I'm gonna check my, I usually have this down on my computer so I can see what you guys see and I can verify if everything is looking good. So let me pull this back out the way. All right. For those who just joined us, if you want to be in the drawing for the YOLOcast 1 year live streaming subscription, make sure to use the link that I shared and I will repost it real quick here. Let me see. It's getting close to the time to draw. And I'll post it in there one last time. We got 2 more minutes before we do the drawing. All right. We've had some good ideas and good thoughts about how this should work related to OBS, getting your webcam in, getting your audio right, getting your live stream features right. So come back and watch this later on if you want to walk through it on your own on OBS and walk through those steps. But when it comes to 2 displays, let's talk about this real quick in FreeShow. All right. So 2 displays in FreeShow is a really cool feature. You can have 4 or 5, whatever it is. But the key is you got to make sure that those 2 displays have some place to go. My primary display right now is here. And so it's got this bright blue bubble background. If you like it, you can get it on my website. I think it's called Video Background Media Kit, something like that. I can't remember. But I've got that one. It's called primary. Then I've got this one that just looks like little square boxes. All right. These little square boxes mean it's completely transparent. Okay. So this one is not going to a physical screen. This one is set to go to a physical screen with a full background and everything. All right. Now, how did I do that? If I go into my settings, I'm gonna just right click on this though so you guys can see it, but you can go to settings in order to do the same thing. And in here, you would enable the output and you would set the style that you want. The style dictates how that output is gonna look for every slide that you create. So if you're making lyrics, you're making scriptures, your style will say, this is how we want our lyrics to look, but it also will say, this is how we want our scriptures to look. And they can look totally different and it will automatically change for you based on what you're showing on your screen. All right. So I've got my style set right now. Let's see here. This style is default. And what it does is it just kind of rolls with whatever is set because, oh, let me go back out. So if I go to edit that style, you'll notice there's no overrides set up. Okay. And so whatever I set up in here on my show, that's what it's going to show. All right. For your primary, that's okay. That would be what I recommend is you don't need to set any overrides up in the slide section here for your primary output because when you're in your show, you're dictating what you want it to look like. So this Alabaster Box show looks different than that other song I just had. This one is full bold. It has this, I've got the same background on it, but if I go to Oceans, it's got a whole different background. So when I go there, the background changes and the lyrics and the font are all different. Okay. Whole different font, whole different size, and whole different background. All right. That's what I want my primary to do. So your first screen, you want it to where it does not have any overrides set up on it because you want to customize that by going into your templates in FreeShow. And your templates can be whatever you want based on how you want your slides to look. Some people like to have a little box around them. So I could go here and I can say, I want it to have this box. I can select that. And all of a sudden, what I had now shows up with this box around it. So all my lyrics, when I go through them, they're going to have that box, okay? Because I changed my template. And my primary output allows that to be quite okay, okay? Now, I don't know which, let's see, this was custom. I had a special font. Here it is. This is the font. It's Lolita 1 font. So I like that font. So I'm going to go back to that one. That's the template that I use there because it's kind of it just goes with the water to me. I don't know why. I just picked that. But you can pick any font you want and save that as a template by simply dragging it down. So you can drag any slide down and make it a template. And I just named it this, but I could call it Oceans if I wanted to. But it can be used on any show. All right. Now, once we get our primary set up, that one's going to show however your slides look the way you designed them. Your second output, though, is going to look a little bit different, most likely. Some people's second output might be a stage display. That's completely fine. But others may have a separate output that's going to be for a live stream like I've got here with that transparency. All right. And that one, if I right click on that and I go to edit, you'll find out this one has a style that's different than default. It's called Live Training 2. So if I go to edit it, you're going to see it has, if I turn on the slides, which I'll put those on now, and then they're coming up over this. So I'm going to turn them off on OBS so you guys can't see all that stuff. All right. But I turn the slides on and they've got an override to show my lower thirds for my regular text slides for lyrics, but then it has a lower thirds pink grunge script template. These are just 2 templates. These are 2 separate templates, one for scriptures and then one for lyrics. And that's what this icon represents. These are just different templates. So I've got a lower thirds template set up right now. If I select this, it'll give me a list of all of my templates to pick from. And I can pick any one that I want for this output. And right now I've got it set to this one. It's just called lower third. If I wanted to have a blue box, I can pick that one. Or maybe one of these different ones. These are some of the ones I'm working on, hopefully to make a new kit for you guys, a lower thirds kit with the grunge stuff. So that's a whole nother thing. But you can pick any template you want, all right? And it'll override and show, even though in-house, everybody sees this, online, everybody's gonna see this. They're just gonna see the lyrics at the bottom. That's where the benefit of having 2 screens they show the same content, but in 2 different ways. All right. Really, really cool feature of FreeShow. And I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna right click and make those slides go away. And it is time for us to do our raffle. All right, so I'm gonna look and see how many people have signed up. So I'm gonna turn that off. And I'm gonna go over and find my form. All right, here we go. We've got 4 subscribers or 4 folks online that have signed up. I'm just gonna pick, and the order that you signed up in is the number that you are. So I'm gonna go into FreeShow. You guys are gonna see it all live, real time. Nothing sketchy going on. So I'm gonna go to functions. I'm gonna go to variables, and I already got one here, but I'm gonna edit this. So I want to right click and edit, and I'm gonna say minimum and maximum. I want the maximum to be 4 because I got 4 people that are subscribed. So this is my raffle, my drawing, whatnot. It says 926. Don't worry about that. This is just a general raffle variable. Okay. In the past, the winners were number 4 and number 9. And now we're getting into, because we started this in August. And so now we're getting into our 3rd one. And now I can save this. I'm gonna just close it out. And it's time. So I'm gonna clear it out. I'm gonna do a random one. This is not a giveaway number. I'm just gonna clear it out. So it's set to 4 right now. Now I'm gonna do the actual drawing. And so it's set to randomize. When I select this, I will announce who the winner is in 3, 2, and here we go. Number 3 on my list is, drum roll please, Larry Sweeting. Larry, you have won a YOLOcast 1-year subscription. I will send you an email. All right. I need you to reply to that email when I send it. It'll probably come this weekend, either this afternoon or tomorrow. And what it'll do is it'll walk you through basically confirming that you want to win it. And then I will need some information from you to get to YOLOcast, and then I'll send you some other information to get you to sign up for your YOLOcast account and all that kind of stuff. All right. So congratulations, Larry. You are the winner of the YOLOcast 1-year subscription for your ministry, for yourself, whatever you want to do with it. Ideally, it may benefit you in your ministry because you can, do a lot of cool things with YOLOcast. So congratulations, my friend. I say my friend, everybody that's on here, I call you all my friend, not because I'm showing favoritism, but because I really just appreciate you guys being on there. So that will be the final thing that we'll do today. Next time we meet, hopefully you'll see some more stuff from me related to some crazy cool thing with 2 displays. I didn't have time to get to it today, but there's a way, and this is a teaser for probably the next video. I just was crazy jacked up when I found out you could do this, that you can show 2 different videos. Okay, 2 different videos at the exact same time with arrowing to the right one time. Like you go from one slide, let's say you got a slide of scriptures and you want to go to the right, but you want a video to show in-house and a different video to show in the lobby, or a different video to show in another space in the overflow room or something like that. You can make those videos start up at exactly the same time and play at exactly the same time, but they're 2 separate videos. Now, to me, the biggest benefit of this is like lobby TVs and stuff like that. Or if you have a video that's translated in a different language, you can have both of those and they'll start exactly the same and they'll end exactly the same if they're exact same video. That's the biggest benefit, is if they're the same video length, but just maybe translated in a different language. That's a big deal. Or maybe you got them in 2 different rooms with 2 different age groups. So maybe it's an announcement for an adult thing, for a men's meeting, and then you got in another room, you got a group of young people, and that TV screen, you can send another signal to for another video. At the same time, they're watching the service, but they're watching it remote in their room. You can play a video for them that's a cartoon or something like that that's the same length. Or if they're not the same length, they'll just repeat until you're done showing them. But it was a cool feature, and I like it. It's kind of random, but it's been around for a long time, and I never knew it. I confirmed it with Christopher, and he was like, yeah, that's been around for some time, maybe a year or so. And I was like, what? But it's a really cool way to do it. I'm going to challenge you all to think of ways, or reasons, I should say, that you would want to have something like that, where you want to show 2 separate displays, or 2 different videos, 2 separate videos at the exact same time. And I think that's just pretty cool, personally. And it may not be any big use cases, but it's really cool. So congratulations again, Larry. I will send you an email to let you know what you need to do, and we'll go from there. If there aren't any other questions for me, you guys have a great rest of the day. Have a great weekend. Be blessed, and I'll see you next time. Talk to you later. Watching this video. I really hope it helped you in a major way. Now, at this point, most people would ask you to like and subscribe, and I think that's great, but my goal is a little bit different. My goal is to empower as many people as possible all over the globe. And there's one way that you can really help me do that, and that is to leave a comment below with a question, a thought, how this video may have helped you, or things that were left out that you still have questions about, and to share this video with someone just like you, someone who is looking for answers, someone who's curious and wants to grow. With your help, I believe we can build a community of people that want to grow together. So until next time, God bless.